Good evening, this is Mahnur Gohar and you're watching Park News English, and I hope that you're having a great day. You must be familiar with Hambantota port. Earlier it was known as Hambantota Mahinda Rajapaksa's port. It is located in ousted President Mahinda Rajapaksa's native town. Its construction was funded by China with a $1.3 billion loan. Through the facility later turned out to be commercially unviable. In 2017, after defaulting on its step, Sri Lanka handed over commercial activities at the port to a Chinese state-owned firm on a 99-year lease. Increased Chinese presence there, especially with its technical facilities, is perceived to be a threat to China's strategic installation, including nuclear and defense-related ones. In any case, this isn't the first time Colombo is caught up in the tension between India and China. India worries that the Chinese-built and leased port of Hambantota will be used by China as a military base in India's backyard. India has provided Sri Lanka with nearly $4 billion in support this year alone. India lodged a verbal protest with the Sri Lankan government against the ship's visit. China's foreign ministry said Beijing had always exercised freedom of high seas lawfully. Chinese hope that the relevant parties will view and report on China's maritime scientific research activities correctly and refrain from interfering with normal and legitimate maritime activities. Consulting firm The Belt and Road Initiative Sri Lanka said on its website that the Yuan 5 would be Hambantota for a week and conduct space tracking, satellite control and research tracking in the northern western part of the Indian Ocean region through August and September. China is one of Sri Lanka's biggest lender and has also funded airports, roads and railways. After receiving $4.5 billion Indian aid, crisis hit Sri Lanka to host a Chinese spy ship. India is warily tracking a Chinese spy ship headed for a Sri Lankan port amid the island nation's economic crisis. Research and survey ship Yuan 5 is scheduled to arrive at the Hambantota port on August 11 and will remain docked there till August 17. It is one of the Chinese 7 vessels known to be heavily involved in tracking satellite, rocket, and intercontinental ballistic missile launches. What may rile New Delhi is Sri Lanka's decision to host it after having received massive economic and material aid from India to keep its economy afloat. Sri Lanka, which is facing an economic crisis, got support from India worth more than $4.5 billion this year alone. And despite the help extended, the Sri Lankan government chose to confirm the development only when Indian officials took note. So the question is, why India is worried? Yuan 5 first came to the notice of Indian officials last month. India was carefully monitoring any development having a bearing on its security and economic interest. Foreign security analysts describe the Yuan 5 as one of China's latest generation space tracking ship that is used to monitor satellite, rocket, and intercontinental ballistic missiles launches. The Pentagon's annual report on China's military modernization says the Yuan ships are operated by the Strategic Support Force of the People's Liberation Army, PLA, which is a theater command level organization established to centralize the PLA's strategic space, cyber, electronic information, communications, and psychological warfare missions and capabilities. India has verbally lodged a complaint with Colombo. After denying it initially, Sri Lanka admitted it would be hosting the vessel. The arrival of the spy ship is expected to raise tension between New Delhi and Beijing, as it did when Sri Lanka allowed nuclear-powered submarine Changzheng 2 to dock at its port in 2014. But still, there are speculations that the Sri Lankan government may deny access to China's spy ship. So let's see if the economic diplomacy of China will overtake the American influence in this Indo-Pacific region or not. You have just heard the latest news around the globe. Again, this is Park News English. with no biased news, with no exception, delivering nothing but the truth. This has been Mahnur Gohar and bringing you the latest news around the globe. Thank you for being with me.